someone is living in your head rent-free right now. You replayed a conversation from 3 days ago. You edited what you should have said. You felt your chest tighten over a person who, at this very moment, is not thinking about you at all. That is the trap. And 2,000 years ago, a Stoic almost no one talks about figured out exactly how it works and how to break it. So why does a stranger's frown still have the power to ruin your entire afternoon? Picture a man standing in a crowded Roman street in the 2nd century. His name is Hierocles. He teaches philosophy for a living, which means his reputation is his bread. And on this particular morning, that reputation is bleeding out in front of him. A former student, someone he had poured years into, is standing in the forum telling anyone who will listen that Hierocles is a fraud, that his ideas are worthless, that he stole them. A small crowd forms, heads turn, and Hierocles feels the old fire rise in his stomach, that hot, sickening urge to defend himself, to explain, to win back the faces looking at him. He says nothing. He walks home. But here is what almost no one realizes about that walk. It was not calm. His hands were shaking. His mind was screaming 100 rebuttals. He spent the entire day rehearsing arguments to an empty room, defending himself to a man who was not even there. And by evening, he was exhausted, humiliated, and furious, not because of what the student did, but because of what he had done to himself all day long. That night, sitting alone, Hierocles asked a question that would become the foundation of his entire philosophy. Not how do I make them respect me, but something far stranger. He asked, why does their voice feel like it is coming from inside my own body? And when he finally answered it, he drew a diagram that still explains your suffering today. A set of circles, one inside the other. And most people, he realized, have them arranged in exactly the wrong order. To understand what Hierocles drew that night, you have to understand what he had discovered about human beings. He believed every person sits at the center of a series of rings. Imagine a target. The innermost ring is you, your own mind, your own body, the only thing you actually control. The next ring out is your immediate family, then your friends, then your neighbors, then your city, your country, and finally, all of humanity. This was his famous circles of concern. But he noticed something disturbing about the way most people live. They take the outer rings, the opinions of strangers, the approval of people they barely know, and they drag them all the way into the center. They let the judgment of a coworker sit closer to their heart than their own values. They let a comment from someone they will never see again occupy the throne room of their soul. And you have done this. You know you have. Think about the last time you posted something and then checked again, waiting for a number to climb. Think about the outfit you changed because of an imagined judgment from people at a party who, it turns out, were too worried about their own reflection to notice yours. Think about the career you almost did not choose, the words you swallowed, the version of yourself you shrank down to fit inside other people's expectations. Hierocles saw all of it coming 18 centuries early. He understood that we do not suffer because people judge us. We suffer because we invite them into the innermost circle, and then we obey them. But here is where his story takes a turn that changes everything, because Hierocles did not just diagnose the problem, he found out where it comes from, and the answer begins the moment you were born. Hierocles believed that the very first thing a living creature does before it learns language, before it learns fear, is recognize and love its own existence. He called this process oikiosis, a word that roughly means self-belonging. A newborn animal knows without being taught that it belongs to itself, that its life is its own to protect. This, he argued, is nature's original gift. You arrive already whole, already sovereign. The self is the first thing you own, and for a while, it is the only thing. But then something happens. You grow up. And slowly, piece by piece, you hand that ownership away. A teacher's disappointment, a parent's raised eyebrow, the laughter of other children. Each one teaches you a quiet, poisonous lesson that the center of your worth lives outside of you, that other people hold the deed to your peace. By the time you are an adult, you have forgotten you ever belonged to yourself at all. You wake up and immediately reach for your phone to find out how you should feel today. You let the tone of one email decide whether you are a success or a failure. And this is the part that stops people cold when they truly grasp it. The reason a stranger's opinion feels like it is coming from inside your body, the exact question Hierocles asked that night, is because you moved them in there. You gave them a key. And the tragedy is not that the world is full of critics. The tragedy is that you have been paying rent to live in your own house. Hierocles sat with this realization, and it nearly broke him, because if he had spent his whole life handing his center away, the next question was terrifying. Could he take it back? And if so, how? The answer came to him not as a feeling, but as a discipline. 3 moves. A code he practiced until it became automatic, and it begins with something almost violently simple. Step 1. Name the circle. Whenever the pain hit, the sting of criticism, the ache of being ignored, he trained himself to stop and ask a single question. Which circle is this coming from? Is this my own conscience speaking from the center? Or is this the voice of an outer ring, a stranger, an acquaintance, a person whose life will never touch mine again? The moment you name the circle, something shifts. You create distance. You realize the frowning stranger lives 4 rings out, and you had let them sit on your chest. Naming it is like turning on a light in a room you thought was full of monsters. Most of them were coats on a chair. Step 2 is harder, and it is where the real power lives. He called it, in essence, returning the judgment to its owner. When that former student attacked him, Hierocles eventually understood something profound. The student's opinion belonged to the student. It was formed in the student's mind, shaped by the student's fears and wounds and ambitions. It was never actually about Hierocles at all, and so it was not his to carry. This is the move that breaks the spell. You picture the judgment, and instead of swallowing it, you hand it back. This is yours. It was made in your circle from your material. I am not obligated to store it in mine. You would not accept a bill for a stranger's debt, so why do you accept their verdict on your worth? Their opinion of you is none of your business. Sit with that. Their opinion of you is literally none of your business. It is an event happening inside someone else's mind, in a circle you do not control and were never meant to. And modern science has quietly confirmed what Hierocles felt in his bones. Psychologists have a name for the collapse of these circles. They call it the spotlight effect, our deep, irrational conviction that everyone is watching us, judging us, tracking our every stumble. Study after study shows the spotlight is almost entirely imaginary. People notice you far less, remember your mistakes far less, and think about you far less than you fear. The audience you are performing for, the one whose approval you have organized your life around, is mostly empty seats. Hierocles knew this without the studies. He knew the crowd in the forum forgot him by supper. The only person still holding the trial was him. So, here is the payoff. Here is the answer to why a stranger's voice feels like it is coming from inside your body, and how you shut it down starting tonight. It feels internal because you internalized it, and what was internalized can be returned. That is step 3, and it is the one you can practice the moment this video ends. Hierocles called it contraction to the center. Before you sleep, you sit in silence, and you deliberately pull your attention inward, ring by ring. You let go of the world, you let go of the city, you let go of the acquaintances, the followers, the faces, and you arrive at the single circle you actually govern, your own mind, your own choices, your own next breath. You say to yourself plainly, this is mine. This is the only thing that was ever mine. Do this for 60 seconds a night. That is all. And within weeks, something changes. The frown of a stranger stops landing like a blow. The unanswered message stops echoing. Because you have redrawn the map, you have moved yourself back to the center of your own life, where nature put you in the first place. So the real question was never how to make people respect you. It was this: whose voice are you obeying, and did you ever actually choose to let them in? You were born belonging to yourself. Somewhere along the way, you sign the deed over to a crowd that isn't even watching. Tonight, you can take it back, one circle at a time. If this reached something real in you, stay a while. There is more here waiting for you, and the next thing you learn might be the thing you needed most.